Yeah, guys, Tarek here, bringing you a 1v1 today. We are on Faymonville approach. Today spawning in the south, we have momo4sho as OKW, and his loadout is Elite Armor, Overwatch, and Firestorm. Facing off here in the north, we have WebsterBolek as Soviets, who has Urban Defense, Guard Motor Coordination, and Shock Rifle Frontline. Momo around rank 33 as OKW and WebsterBolek 38 as Soviet, so a very evenly matched game here. Should be a good one. So it looks like WebsterBolek going for some conscript play. Do still see conscript play sometimes these days when players go for shock rifle frontline. Seems to be a more popular opening with that. So he's going to switch in the Volksgrenadiers here. Looks like WebsterBolek going to stick around, complete the capture before backpedaling out of there. Fair enough, wants to get those resources coming in.
Fresh conscripts have arrived.
So Momo getting another good engagement here behind light cover against these conscripts out in the open. This one not nearly as important to capture, I feel. The victory point in the early game doesn't really give you any resources. He lost 3 models in the process. So he's going to cycle these through, going to bring in a fresh squad of conscripts to try fight the Folks. We're backpedaling to the heavy cover here. Whilst the wounded squad goes into some capping in the back lines. Excellent idea from WebsterBolek. Having to retreat a squad this early on is like a disaster, but being able to use it in the back lines for capping is really effective use. Especially this early on, like it's not like there's going to be a light vehicle chasing the squad down on retreat and killing it. Too early for even that, so very safe to go do some capping in the back lines. Great idea. WebsterBolek. Looks like Momo has selected Overwatch. He's also going for a truck. Might be wanting some Jaegers, so he doesn't want to invest in another Volksgrenadier right now. Wants to try to speed up his command point clock by maybe even putting down his tech if he's going for battle group. That is an option. Now branching out a little bit more in the north, uncontested. Meanwhile, it's getting cut off here. Kind of interesting to see Momo didn't try to wire this off with his stern pioneers right away. Now WebsterBolek getting some sandbags down on this passageway. That's going to be quite annoying to move through every time, having to vault. Also causes some headaches with your retreat pathing. So that could be an issue for Momo. So a 4 conscript opening for WebsterBolek. Has indeed gone for shock rifle frontline, as I thought. The good thing about this is because he has quite a lot of conscripts around who have plenty of anti-tank grenades, which should make up for the shock troops being quite vulnerable to light vehicles. And just always like hoorah and try to get an anti-tank grenade off. And shock troops get to make up for conscripts kind of dropping off in the mid to late game. Shock troops are very, very strong at the moment. Maybe even OP. Oh, it does indeed call in a Jaeger as his squad and goes for the battle group as well. Molotov here for WebsterBolek, but Momo moves out of the fight. Ends up forcing the retreat. Now the Molotov goes in. Oh, getting a bit laggy there. Jaeger's sprinting forward. G43's completed upgrading now. So this is a nightmare scenario. The squad's a little bit low on health with the Jaeger snipe potential. These conscripts are going to start dropping pretty quickly. There we go, you can hear the Jaeger G43 doing the snipes there. Jaeger's now closing in. Fortunately, he's going to follow them as well. This is a Molotov, yep. Fair idea. He might have just grazed a couple of his own models with that Molotov there. It didn't really work out too well. Oh, we're trying to put up some sandbags on the fuel so he can help hold this fuel once he harasses it, but it doesn't end up working out. Maximum now for WebsterBolek. Could have gone for shock troops instead. Does need the tier 2 down though, because we are hitting the approximate light vehicle timings, and looks like Momo is indeed going to go for the flak half track. I feel like the Jaeger builds have really resurrected the flak half track. Didn't see it almost at all before, but now you can go 3 Fox into Jaeger. Kind of works better with the timing of the battle group HQ. And you kind of want to have a bit more munition spare to be able to upgrade the G43s instead of using on medic crates. Nixon gets in the building, but looks like it's only going to take, you know, maybe 2 or 3 ticks of flame damage, so he took the risk. But fresh squad of Fox with a fresh incendiary grenade ends up forcing the Maxim out. This is some brutal combat through the middle. So many squads just juking it out. But it seems like the Soviet players coming off for the worst. And Maxim Rez had no impact. Could even lose it here if he's a little bit unlucky. Ooh, he sneaks through all these trees here, providing a little bit of shot blocker, helping him get away. But yeah, things are not going too smoothly for WebsterBolek. Maybe thinking his army's looking a bit small, and it is. You know, he's had to invest in medics and Molotovs. All that side tech has slowed him down a little bit. Raketin coming in from Momo. WebsterBolek, if he had the manpower, he would be actually very close to T70, but it's not on the drawing board for him this game. He's been bleeding a lot of manpower. Take a look at this, 40 kills from Momo, 22 losses. So a massive difference in the kills there. And that explains why WebsterBolek is just so manpower starved right now. Side tech combined with a terrible KD even for Soviets. That's a bad KD. 2-1. It's getting off to a bit of a rough start here. You really need that Maxim in that last engagement to have some impact, but it didn't happen. He's gone for the Zis here to counter flak half track, fair enough. Very hard to kill the flak half track, but he does have anti-tank ambush tactics. He does have camouflage, so he could set his Zis up in a sneaky position. But yeah, very hard to kill the flak half track. Basically always smokes for the second shot, so you have to be ready with your attack rounds if you want even a hope of killing it. So the way you do that is you attack, and then on the second shot you ready the attack round, so as soon as they smoke you have like attack round like loaded and ready, and you pop it off. Generally you don't want to use attack round prematurely before they use smoke, because going for an accuracy shot is generally better, but yeah, just have it loaded and ready for that smoke activation. Because sometimes they don't have smoke, you know. I think they made it cheap at Vet 1. But yeah, at Vet 0, 35 munitions is quite a bit, and they might not have it in their just available. So sometimes they won't be able to pop it, so you don't want to use attack ground prematurely. Miss out on that potential direct shot. And there's tank gun. How are they on negative cover right there? It's interesting, there's like a tiny patch of negative cover around the capture point for some reason. But potentially a missed wipe there from Momo. He focused it with those two squads. Might have been able to get the kill. He's definitely trying to knock out the Zis, but 6-man support weapons for Soviets, unlikely to happen. WebsterBolek is definitely in a bit of trouble here though. Still really struggling for map control. Momo's found the time to go for an infantry support gun to try and counter the max in play. And one strategy that has become a bit more popular these days as well with this commander is going for smoke on the ISG combined with a Goliath. Can be very nasty. You smoke it off and then you run the Goliath through the smoke. The opponent might be able to hear the Goliath, but makes it quite hard to see, and they might not be on the part of the screen where they can actually hear the Goliath, so it can work out. Worth considering. Molotov goes in. And a bit of friendly fire there from the ISG. Friendly's killed? One. Whoopsie daisy. He's barraging the house. Remember, these can barrage a little bit further than they can auto fire. That's why he's being able to fire outside his range there. WebsterBolek actually hasn't ticked anti-tank grenades. This is in a good position though. Flak half track has to back away. It's behind the building as well. Very safe escape. Soon Pioneers are over here, so no repairs immediately. They're required in combat. Now he's making use of the anti-tank camo. Good idea, especially when you're fighting against Jaegers. They have such a long line of sight. Being able to camouflage your anti-tank gun is really helpful against them. Stick Pioneers just make it out of there. Good this barrage. WebsterBolek's starting to float a little bit here. Oh, looks like he's forgotten about this conscripts. Oh, it's probably going to go down, yeah, with the Jaegers there. Oh, that's no good. He's called in some shock troops. Would be in a lot better position if he didn't lose that squad of conscripts, though. So he's in a position, he's got to make a decision. Am I going to try tech up, or am I going to go straight for call-in? Still, as you can see, 6 command points away from the call-in. By that time, well, it was almost guaranteed to have a Panzer IV, like probably around 9 CPs, maybe 10. So there'll be a decent chunk of time where the Panzer IV is on the field, basically uncounted. Which does make life very hard for WebsterBolek. At that point he'll probably have to go for a second Zis to try and cover the map a little bit more effectively. But either way, if he is going to go straight for the IS-2, he's definitely going to need anti-tank grenades, so he might as well take them now. Have the potential of using them on the flak half track. It's a bad start for the shock troops. Back half track finding them, dishing out the damage. This is a nightmare scenario for your shock troops to start off. Interesting that he's sent them straight away to cap. Much better to try send them right into combat if you can. I mean, that's what they're there for. They're like a combat squad, very expensive. 360 manpower. Send them in a fight. Let your conscripts and combat engineers do the capping. Looks like he's gone for a munitions cache here. Interesting decision. Must want access to the incendiary artillery. Momo did go for a Raketen, perhaps expecting T70, but it doesn't look like that's going to happen, so this is kind of just weighing down his army right now. So he's trying to hold the line here. Shock troops briefly stuttered there before they close in. So they were thinking about throwing a grenade, but didn't end up doing it. Oh, nice incendiary grenade there from Momo. Shock troops just taking so much damage. Nice resist control there, gets a shot in, forces away the half track. Raketen could go down here. Momo keeping the flak half track in the fight. Is this now moving up? Pop smoke just as a precaution, just in case this had started moving up straight away after it fired a shot, but it hadn't.
Enemy forces are neutralizing a sector.
So Momo took the risk there and it paid off. Otherwise he potentially could have lost that Raketen, but ends up keeping it. Oh, and this conscript does get wiped by the Obers on retreat.
Have been lost.
Things are looking quite grim for Webster, but the plus side when you're in combat that fierce does speed around the command point clock, so he is getting closer to the IS-2. Momo meanwhile actually hasn't had like that excellent fuel control. It's been good, but hasn't been completely dominating the fuel, so Panzer IV isn't going to be coming in at record time. The troops just chasing the Obers all the way home. Well, they should be. They stop right there. Back half track's back. Fully repaired, ready for some more action. Support gun going to work. 7 kills and 1 friendly, I suppose, but 6 kills. Not too bad. But as you can see, look at the supply difference, 27 to 71. Momo has gone for a second Raketen. Clearly he's thinking, oh look, I'm very close to 13 CPs. My opponent must be as well, so I need a second Raketen in case his IS-2 hits the field. But of course, WebsterBolek, having not ticked, is a little bit further behind in terms of command points. But that is, you know, what you should be aware. Like, generally your command points in a 1v1 are going to be quite close to your opponents, especially if you're going through similar tech stages, so he's expecting the IS-2, so he gets a second Raketen in anticipation of that happening.
The sector is at risk.
Good thing about getting a Raketen a little bit early as well, so you can get it in position camouflage, which can pay off. Vegas here do a sneaky, get a booby trap down, does a grip of damage to those shock troops. Forgets to take them out of camouflage though. There they go now. Now they're going to have just a feeding frenzy on these low house shocks. It's going to be sniping off models like crazy. Most cost 40 munitions, so If you've already got like full upgrades on your troops, worth considering.
Granted us IS-2 heavy tanks. We are losing supplies to the enemy.
Yeah, he's now closing in on this Maxim. Starting to get those snipes going. But you can hear it through the fog. IS-2 hitting the field. Momo, a little bit low on manpower right now.
The enemy has taken our supply sector.
Doesn't have enough for what I assume is going to be a Panther. Doesn't have his mechanized truck up, so it's not going to be a KT. And if it was a Panzer IV, he probably would have had it by now.
300 points stand between us and defeat.
So this IS-2's got a lot of work to do.
IS-2 here.
Generally though, the IS-2 is actually quite good in the Panther matchup, especially these days. I feel like, because the Panther has a little bit less armor, the IS-2 penetrates it more reliably. So in those like straight head-to-head fights, comes out on top. Panther ends up requiring more repairs, just takes longer to repair. Ooh. Momo4sho getting in jeopardy, but he doesn't close in with the IS-2. Also didn't quite have the munitions for the machine gun upgrade on it, so not going to be that effective against infantry. Just relying on the cannon. You can see WebsterBolek on the back of that IS-2 starting to get a lot more map control army sizes. Much more even, at least until this.
Okay, that's the last one.
Panther arrives. Both players kind of, you know, going onto the flanks using their sweepers.
Engineers have secured the sector. We're builders, not killers. Why are they shooting at us?
Interesting, the flare trap's still on that.
Falling into enemy hands.
Thought if you captured a point with the engineer, flare would automatically go away. So now we're trying to use smoke, smoking off the Maxim through the middle. Panther on the field now, gets a free shot him while this was packed up and now backing away. Good control there, getting that free damage in. Kitten has creeped into position, so it's safe from the Maxim being camouflaged like that. There's flak half track, a little bit far back here. Oh, and the Raketen takes a big hit from the IS-2. IS-2's got the machine gun upgrade now as well. A lot scarier against the infantry. There he goes, sprinting around the side, getting right on top of the Maxim. Maxim packing up. Panther comes in for another free hit, but this was their camouflage, gets a bit of an ambush in.
Enemy forces are capturing
Maxim
our
repositioning. Momo going to throw a grenade. No, he doesn't have the munitions for a grenade. So Maxim gets the suppression in. Conscript's actually bullying the stern pioneers here as well, and looks like that push is going to be somewhat diffused at least. Momo looks like he's got good control in the north, however.
The enemy is taking what we have secured.
So this game is shaping up. This IS-2 really providing a nice comeback mechanism for WebsterBolek.
Combat. Enemy forces are neutralizing a sector.
Helping him stay in this match. If he had to tick, clearly he would be very far behind right now. Not in the fuel. He would have had enough fuel to tick, but in the manpower game he's been bleeding so much. We can take another look. I'm about 50 kills ahead. This Because against OKW as well, you know, they've got 5-man squads, which do bleed a little bit more than the austere 4-man squads. Kid and Panther in a nice position to force away the IS-2. I think taking advantage of that 10 range advantage that he has right now. There's some nice long range shots in. You really got to abuse that before the IS-2 hits Vet 2 and gets its 10 bonus range. Because yeah, once the IS-2 gets Vet 2, that's when it starts to really cause a lot of problems for the Panther. Used to be a lot more fair because the Panther's Vet 2 used to be a lot better than it is currently, but 10% armor now is pretty garbage. It used to start with less health and gain more health at Vet 2, but end up having more armor than it does at Vet 2 now. To kind of keep things a little bit more competitive against the IS-2, but I think these days once the IS-2 hits Vet 2, the Panther really starts to struggle. So if you can kill it before then, that would be ideal. Easier said than done though. IS-2 very durable. Momo is doing his best though to close out the VP game. 163 left for WebsterBolek. It's now closing in.
Supply sector under attack.
Getting on top of this cutoff. He's getting really aggressive in the north. He's definitely locking that down. Kitten gets a shot in, bounces. Okay, IS-2 moving its way over here now. The Kitten has faced up. Kitten misses the shot, but Panther connects. Shock troops look like they're trying to close in on the Kitten, trying to clear it out. Momo not reacting. Oh, that grenade's gonna do a lot of damage. Is this coming in from the side here though? STG Fox being sent to dispatch it, but there is a Maxim behind it there. It's going to shut that down. IS-2 staying in combat here, trying to do some damage. Good to see that WebsterBolek did go for a second squad of combat engineers, realizing that he needs to keep his IS-2 on the field and healthy to try and make this comeback. So use that extra repairs. Oh, Raketin gets a shot in. Panther might get aggressive here. Oh, missing his shot. Even though when is this, you know, could come in from the side with the camouflage, so playing it safe. Not overcommitting, just pushing away the IS-2, maintaining VP control, because WebsterBolek getting very low on the VPs now. IS-2 gonna come back in here.
We have a new Su-85 to deploy.
It's good, staying aggressive. VP's on neutral right now. We're making a charge into the middle. Su-85 now to back up the IS-2 for WebsterBolek. Explains where all his manpower's been going recently. Finally got the tech up. IS-2's brought him enough breathing room. He's finally managed to tech up. And he goes for the SU-85 to try to zone out that Panther. It is a little bit tricky sometimes using the SU-85. The shot blockers on this map, but if you can like engage in this region in the middle, very advantageous for the SU-85. And it does make it a lot harder for Momo to use his Panther. In fact, Momo doesn't even have enough space in his army to get another vehicle right now. So what that means is his Raketen position is going to have to be on point. Otherwise he can get overwhelmed by this IS-2 SU-85 combo. Oh, gets Faust and engine damage on the IS-2. That's a good start. It's about half health of it now. Looks like the Panther's rotating around. I don't think he's aware of the SU-85 though. Panther getting blocked here by the stealth Raketen. Oh, sneaky Zis coming in here. Sounds like the conscript's gone down. SU-85 pushing in. Black Half Track in a little bit of trouble, but the Raketen is there. SU-85 now in trouble. Zis returning fire in a big way. Looks like everything's gonna get away alive, but a lot of damage on both sides. Momo did end up getting the squad wipe though. Suppression from their mine there comes in clutch, shutting down the shock troops' assault. Otherwise they would have bullied the Fox Grenadiers out of there. I feel like overall WebsterBolek's use of shock troops hasn't been that effective this game. Generally when I've seen them, when I've used them. Oh, looks like he's reinforcing them with conscript merge. I could explain it. Conscripts do get the PPSHs, but they don't get the body armor. So not quite as durable. So yeah, they do maintain the good damage output, but yeah, lacking the durability of reinforcement from actual shock troops. But yeah, I feel like his he hasn't really used the smoke grenade much. I think that's one of the real strengths of shock troops at the moment. Just being able to lob out smoke grenades so cheap, you know, 10 munitions. No excuse not to use one, really. IS-2 now back up to full. Momo's Panther though, not quite at full health. Egg is doing a good job staying at long range, sniping off the shock troops, but here comes the IS-2. And that forces Momo to retreat. Sends the flak half track to the north. This is one thing that is very good about Momo's current composition is wherever WebsterBolek has both of these, Momo can send his flak half track to the other side of the map to try and lock that down. Very effective for map control. Ooh, what is he doing with that Raketen? That's big trouble. Momo calling in the sector assault. This did get nerfed. And I haven't seen too much of it since, so curious to see how it goes here. Remember, this does require vision to work. And that was a disaster for Momo. Kind of did a lot of friendly fire damage to his own Panther there. IS-2 trying to come back onto the field. Infantry pushing on top of the Zis. Wants to clear out that Vet 3 Zis. And WebsterBolek not being able to micro it here. Count the bombs, narrowly missing the Su-85. That was a close call. Got one more bombing run to come. Looks like Momo's not going to risk either of his Panthers here, trying to go in for the kill on the Su-85. Just gonna repair up. Has gone for the mechanized HQ, knowing that, you know, before he was quite close to his supply limit. Before he lost both of those Raketans. So going for the mechanized truck at that point is a good idea, especially if a lot of fuel floating. Help make up for the extra repairs, because you can't quite afford the second Stern Pioneer squad. But yeah, overall that engagement went pretty well for WebsterBolek. The sector assault didn't really help Momo at all. In fact, kind of hurt him. If his second Panther hadn't taken that bomb damage, might have been able to chase in and kill the Su-85 there. There's life. IS-2 hits Vet-2 with that kill there though. That's what I was talking about. It's hit that magic number, gets the 10 bonus range, so now it's got the same range as the Panther, plus 20% accuracy. It's a big deal. Double Panthers coming in here, but they're about to run into a bit of a stone wall. Su-85 and a fresh T-34 there. Panthers having to back out. One of them using Blitz. What are these Jaegers doing? Oh, they could go down to the IS-2 if they're a little bit unlucky. No, IS-2 backing away. Incendiary artillery coming in on the middle. And making that possible for Momo to capture. WebsterBolek also capturing in the north. He's really starting to turn this game around. Momo losing both of his Raketans there was so costly. So Momo's going to go for another Raketan. This current composition, he could actually go for one more tank. Okay, Panther in there, trying to kill the Zis before it gets recruit. Su-85 on focus sight mode though. He's got something to say about it, and he's saying, "Not today, buddy." Momo getting kind of lucky on the move shot on the Zis there. And Su-85 missing all shots in return. Well, kind of gets out of cover there, whoops. Out of the capture point rather. Su-85 connects, hits Vet-2, that's when he gets his bonus penetration. That makes it much more effective against the Panthers. Their tough armor. So things are actually looking really good for WebsterBolek here. He's got a decent army composition. Maybe just needs like one more squad of infantry. Even probably would be conscripts maybe having like an extra squad around. For tank grenades would be quite nice. Just cheap capping fodder at this point as well. Although, does the Faust the anticipation of shot penetrating, but it doesn't happen. Su-85 moving in position now, still on focus sight, so it's a little bit cumbersome. Oh, conscripts could go down here. Make retreat. There they go. Oh, but the shock troops grenade gets a kill in return. Looks like the focus fires on the Su-85 first. Kidding out here re-puts it in camouflage, but Webster is well aware of its position. Go for some attack ground shots here. On We're bringing his stern pioneers out. Maybe Webster thinks this had retreated. Actually barraging the middle, trying to stop the capture, but conscripts evading those shells. T70 now for WebsterBolek. That's surprising, but I suppose what he's thinking, maybe he wants it to help control the flanks. And will win straight head-to-head fight against the flak half track, so it will be quite nice in that regard. Oh, Momo could lose his Raketen here. No, just gets out of there. Maxim locking down that southern VP very effectively here. When we're trying to go for an attack ground shot through the building, does sometimes work.
T-70 light tank has arrived.
It doesn't go in his favour this time. Goes for another Raketen now. Clearly what he's thinking is he needs to just like sneak his Raketens into a position, kind of bait Webster into an engagement, and then unveil the Raketens at the right time. Turn the engagement into his favour. Yeah, you can see the impacts there of the IS-2 Vet 2 range bonus, returning fire on the Panther's long range. Oh, I was like, does Momo know that this is repositioned over to here? He does. He throws an incendiary grenade at it. Well evaded, and now T-70 is dispatched over here to stop the capture. Very important, you know, 42 VPs left. Gotta be well on top of the VP control. Momo actually mobilizing his Panthers here, hoping to get some rear armor hits on the IS-2 while it's exposed. It's already 5 spots at long range though on that focus site. About to run into this Raketen though, and it looks like Momo's going to go for that first. Wants to go after the SU-85, overextending itself here. Oh, but missing a couple crucial shots there with the Panthers. Means it doesn't get killed, and the Raketen gets decrewed. That's very unlucky for Momo. Oh, not very unlucky, but somewhat unlucky. Easily could have been a kill on the Vet 3 SU-85 there. Big overextension from WebsterBolek.
The sector is at risk.
Focusing hard on those repairs. SU-85 already back up to full. Trying to destroy that decrewed Raketen, but Momo snakes it from right under his nose. Oh, that was a big hit from the T-34. Raketen changes direction. Momo calls in the sector assault here. Doing some good damage. T-34 goes in for a ram, but it looks like it got blocked by the Raketen. And T-34 goes down. Where will the bombers go? If the bombers go after this IS-2, it could be in big trouble here. Mobilizes itself now. I think the bombers will miss it. Just off target. Good thing he started moving when he did though, otherwise he'd be in big trouble. Panthers chasing in. He's 25 on half health, but he needs it there to stop the Panthers. Momo bringing up his infantry now. IS-2 shooting at the planes reveals itself through the fog, allows the Panthers to continue the chase. Panthers using the blitz, speeding in and evading the shots from SU-85, at least for now. One of the Panthers in a tough position. Looks like it's going to go down. SU-85, oh, gets main gun destroyed. So he's going to stick around for the kill on that. And in the meantime, WebsterBolek has lost his shock troops. He got a fresh squad of shock troops and they died during all this. Maybe the Sector assault bombers targeting them? I'm not sure. I didn't actually see the sector assault bombers come in for their second pass. Either way, things look like they went pretty well for Momo. Took out a Panther. I mean, took out a SU-85 and T-34 in return for a Panther. Getting rid of the Vet 3 on the SU-85 is really important as well. And he kept his high veterancy Panther alive, so... I mean, could have gone more smoothly if you got a little bit more lucky with penetrations and whatnot, but that's how it goes. As to not fully repaired, but because the squad doesn't have a Faust, sends it right in there. Almost one-shots it. Getting returning fire. Bouncing twice in a row though. So conscripts got forced away in the north. The VP game is still quite tense here. Fresh T-34 on the field for WebsterBolek. Panther outnumbered here. Needs to back away. Needs the support of the Raketans. Momo is a little bit low on manpower right now. Can't afford another tank. In goes the incendiary artillery. See how the spread is. IS-2 just charging in here. 2 Raketans nearby and the highly vetted Panther. One of the Raketans gets forced away and could actually go down. Conscripts go down though in the meantime. This flak half-track at Vet 5 is a real weapon. Just slaying all this infantry. 2 squads down for WebsterBolek. Looks like he's going in now with the fresh T-34 going after the flak half-track. He's had enough of it, but gets snared by a mine. And looks like that T-34 is going to go down. Perhaps the other one as well if he's not careful. IS-2 now charging in, trying to save the T-34, but Panther gets a penetration and WebsterBolek throws in the towel there, knowing that his IS-2 is dead. Well, that was a really close game. The call-in of the IS-2 almost brought WebsterBolek back into the match. Momo just had that little bit extra in this match, you know. A couple extra mines. WebsterBolek didn't really have the time for sweeping. That made a difference, and Momo also slightly better control of his infantry during the tank fights, meaning that he generally came out ahead in the infantry game at the end of those heated armoured engagements. And that seemed to make the difference. I'll wrap on that, guys. If you'd like your game to be cast by me, details are in the video description below. Otherwise, I'll catch you all for the next thrilling installment. Goodbye. Good luck.